You know, every once in a while that you'll discover something that's right next to you that is really incredible. I live down in Pelican Cove, which is down by the Sarasota Square Mall. It's a beautiful wooded condominium complex that was once an old estate. I've been here, you know, for 30 some odd years, and I just love it. And in fact, I never thought of the area as being a great dining area because it's mostly shopping malls and you know, the shopping mall fast food areas and things like that. But one day I happened to stop over at J. Ryan's, which is just a couple of blocks from me on 41. It's on the east side of 41. J. Ryan's on the grill. And I was astounded by how, and this was, I guess, 15 years ago, something like that, maybe more. I was just astounded by the beauty of the inside. It was just like walking into a fine bar and grill in New York or Chicago or Los Angeles, you know, where some care had been taken with the interior decoration. And the thing also that I found to be extraordinary was that it had a manager, Rafael Gonzalez, I'll show you a picture of him here, who had come over from Cuba to Miami, you know, right after the revolution. His father had a small plantation on the far end of Cuba, but that went with the revolution, and he found himself in Miami, and after a couple of years there, he said to himself, I'll never learn English at this rate because it's like living in Cuba. So he decided something or other drove him to Sarasota. I don't know what it was, but he wound up in Sarasota with some other Cuban expatriates, and they started a little Cuban restaurant here downtown, and that building is no longer here. And then he worked for a while over at the Cuban restaurant that's over on St. Armand Circle. It's kind of fallen on bad times. The food is very iffy there now, even though it's a big place and it's a big tourist attraction. But he eventually, with some partners, started J. Ryan's on the Grill, and he's a consummate restaurateur. His servers, you know, his waiters and his bartenders and his cook help and everything are always gracious, and they're always there to help you and to serve you. There's no wise guy attitude. They don't interrupt in your meals, something I hate. And the cooking is as good as any place in Sarasota. Let me just put it that way, you know. And every once in a while, I guess about every couple of weeks, he'll have a festival, a Cuban festival or a Southern festival or German festival or Easter festival or whatever, Italian festival, whatever he can dream up, he'll have a festival. And so he'll have a lot of dishes, you know, 5 or 6 dishes from that particular region of the U.S. or from Europe. And of course, he always has something special for Thanksgiving or St. Patty's Day or Easter, you know, or Christmas. And a nice meal for those who perhaps don't want to cook their own and who would like a really kind of homey atmosphere to go to. And I like to go there when I'm not going to visit some friends here in Sarasota, you know, for the holidays. I'll just go over there. It's like a second home to me, as it is for many of the clientele. And as you can see also in the bar, there are lots of women in the bar. They're not young women, they're on in years, but this is the kind of place that these women feel very comfortable at. And Raphael makes sure they feel comfortable. He even has a Tuesday night champagne for the ladies, which makes sure that they come back, you know. And but they all eat at the bar. You know, they're single women just like myself. I'm a single guy, so I like to eat at the bar. In fact, every place that I go, I generally eat at the bar, by and large. And that was from a tip from my son Art, who was a bartender during college, and he told me, look, if you're going to eat in a restaurant, eat at the bar if you can, because the bartenders are smarter, they give you better service, and that's really what you want. So I took his tip, and wherever I go now, if I can, if they have a bar, then I will eat at the bar. And he was right. That in fact, the bartenders are quicker, they're faster, they have good manners, and they always give you good service, you know. So I like eating at that bar, as do a lot of women. They like eating at the bar when they're alone. They come over there for lunch or for dinner, whatever it is. And it's a place where it just has the atmosphere that they're safe and not going to be bothered. That's all due to Raphael has a way about him that's really quite extraordinary, you know. And he likes the women, and he always talks to them, and as to all of his patrons, you know. So his food is just plain good. It ranges all over the place. No matter what you order there, it's going to be good. Sometimes it's extraordinary, you know. But in fact, I like the hamburgers there, and I like his salads. He does a takeoff on the Columbia, the so-called Cuban restaurant out on St. Armand Circle, on their 1905 salad. He calls his the 1995 salad. It's so much better, you know. I don't know how he's accomplished that, but you know, I had a salad over at the Columbia recently, the 1905, and it was horrible. But that's their signature piece, you know. But Raphael always keeps up the standards on his cooks. You know, everything is all up to snuff, and that 1905 salad is great. He has a great, what he calls Spanish bean soup, but is really caldo gallego. It's a big Cuban soup of ham and beans, and it's just fabulous. It's just a great soup. And his steaks are great, and his pork chops, you know, and he has things just as homely as a open-faced turkey sandwich dinner, but it's a killer with mashed potatoes, you know. If you have that kind of hunger for that kind of thing, this is a place you can go to get it. So it runs the whole gamut of your food desires. And so I hope that in fact you make it to Raphael's. When you talk to guys who know food in town, who in fact go out to eat often, who in fact might be bachelors, whatever, you know, who in fact don't cook themselves. I cook myself, but I like to go out once in a while. And they'll tell you, you know, Raphael's, you know, Ryan's on the Grill. That in fact it should be called Raphael's, but that's the name that it started with. You know, Ryan's on the Grill. You know, so it's right there on 41 on the east side, just as you pass the Sarasota Square Mall. You'll see it's a kind of yellowish brown building. Pull in there, lunch or dinner. You're going to like the atmosphere. It's quiet. The waiters are good. The food is great. And if he's on that night or that day, he has to take some time off. He had a bad heart condition recently, so he's not there really as often as he used to be. But in fact, you'll spot him at the door. He's about 270 pounds. He's about in my way with a big booming smile, and say hi. And you heard about their restaurant, and you'd like to try it, and he'll take care of you. Okay.